Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It is Easter Sunday, and I want to recap the headlines from this weekend. April 4th was yesterday, Saturday. Early yesterday, there was the third blood moon of four. The fourth will come this September. And it was the shortest of the blood moons, and it's said to be the shortest of this century. Supposedly, it lasted 4 minutes and 43 seconds. And you'll see other places reporting it as 4 minutes and 44 seconds. But I think 4 minutes and 43 seconds is the official time that they're reporting, which seems curious because it happened in the transition from April 3rd to April 4th. So that has passed. This weekend, the movie opened Fast and Furious 7. And what's interesting about this headline here is it talks about how the movie's generated 144 million so far. Recall we had the plane crash that's been dominating the headlines of 144 passengers. Supposedly it's made 144 million so far. And look, this title Furious 7, the way they have it, creates a gematria of 44. And of course, when you write out 44, it sums to 144. So even within the film headlines, more coding. Remember this number the phrase mark of the beast has a gematria of 144, just like the word Easter bunny. And how does that tie in with Santa Claus, the two fake things that kids are taught to believe in from a young age? Santa Claus equals 111 simple English gematria and 666 in English gematria, the number that's said to be the mark of the beast. So Easter bunny and Santa Claus have a very curious connection in gematria that I really do not think is a coincidence. I think this is the foundation for building people who will accept and tolerate lies for the duration of their life, just as we do in modern society. I think it all starts with the Easter bunny, Santa Claus, and a few other ingredients that get sprinkled in along the way. Also on April 4th, there was a rare Fidel Castro sighting. First time he was in public in more than a year, they say. I took a look at Fidel Castro, and I noticed some curious things about him. He's currently 88 years old. He'll turn 89 August 13th. That's 9 days after Obama's birthday. Notice that 13 also has a numerology of 4, because 1 plus 3 is 4, so in a way, it's a lot like 8-4. His life number, he has a life number of 47, just like the word president. Fidel Castro, the name, has some interesting gematria, 36 and 76. The word master is 76. Put together, it's 1 plus 1 equals to 2, 112. The word mathematics equals 112. 1 plus 1 equals 2. And Fidel with Pythagorean gematria equals 27, just like Cuba with simple English gematria. And Castro is 22. So this way, Pythagorean, his name is 49. Another interesting number. And what I noticed as a kid is it seemed that the United States, were touted as this great superpower going all over the world, fighting wars here and there, tackling tyrants here and there. This is the narrative they sell us. And I always wondered why this little tiny island that supposedly had one of our enemies on it was able to exist, just being right off the shores of Florida. It didn't really make sense. And looking at it now, it just seems like Fidel Castro, another one of those false boogeymen, just here to help maintain the false threat hoax that's constantly waged against the United States of America. Once upon a time, the Cold War was very much a part of that, and Fidel Castro was a threat in that regard. But here he is getting a tribute on 4-4 at 88 years old. It'll be interesting to see if he dies before long. With regards to Jade Helm, we're hearing a lot about that. Colorado was talking about it, confirming that they'll be part of the drill this weekend on April 4th. Jade Helm has the Pythagorean gematria of 31, like the foundational degree of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. It'll be happening in the southwest region. Southwest is the only direction on a compass that has a gematria of 33. Jade Helm. I don't have that much information on it, Truth Seeker. What's out there on the internet is not very clear. It kind of blows my mind that there's so much hype about it because there's really not that much information. If you have any good information on it that I should know about, please share it. A user sent me this. Craig T. Nelson, the voice of Mr. Incredible in The Incredibles. His birthday is April 4th, 44. How about that? That's a lot of fours. He's born in Spokane, Washington. This user pointed out that if you do it this way with the abbreviation, it sums to 33. That's interesting. And he's been in show business for 71 years, and it's his 71st birthday. So this user was saying, let's keep our eye on him. He might go under. Yeah, maybe so. Once upon a time in history, on April 3rd, which just passed, the 93rd day of the year, Jesse James died. Just doing a little research this weekend and caught that. He died in the year 1882, which is also curious. He was shot by a Robert, a 33. Who else? And if you look up his history, he committed his first robbery on February 13th, the 44th day of the year, in the year 1866. How about that? A lot of curious numbers on Jesse James. As I've said before, our history is all coded with numbers. And most people have heard the name Jesse James one way or another. Also, this past weekend, there were a lot of tornadoes in certain parts of the country. 41 years ago, April 3rd and April 4th, 1974, it was called the Super Outbreak. Record-setting tornadoes at that period of time. Super Outbreak has the gematria of 55 Pythagorean, S exception 64, SNK exception 73. So, who knows? Maybe tornadoes by the numbers. Another big story this weekend that came out of nowhere. Isn't it funny how they just throw these stories in front of us? They're just so out of place. They're so random. They make it seem like these people are important, more important than we should know. But anyway, supposedly there was a sick Delaware father and his sons. His name was Steve Esmond, which has a gematria of 42 Pythagorean, just like the word sick. And they're from Delaware, the first state, which has a gematria of 33 and an establishment date with 33 numerology. And I often joke on my blog that I'm surprised Delaware is not used more in the hoaxes. Well, here it is. Chris Christie's also from Delaware, Mr. CC. Went to school there. This weekend we also heard about the death of Lynyrd Skynyrd's original drummer. Lynyrd Skynyrd's known for being a bit racist with the lyrics back in the day. Neil Young has a song called Southern Man that is a response to Lynyrd Skynyrd's Simple Man. He died at the age of 64, number having a lot to do with thelema, and he also died on the 93rd day of the year. The word thelema equals 64. They worship the number 93. He died on the 93rd day of the year, supposedly in a car accident. He's a Robert himself. Very curious name gematria here. He's also a junior. Robert Louis Burns Jr. has a gematria of 110, like the word president, which just made me think of Obama. Number 44, word president's 110. Universal time when Robert Louis died, it was April 4th. Local time where he died, it was April 3rd. Also, the name Bob Burns, which he commonly goes by, has a gematria of 30 and 39. Notice 39 is the flip of 93. He died in Georgia, the fourth state, with the gematria of 44 on the 33rd parallel. So a lot of numbers here on the Lynyrd Skynyrd drummer death. So common with these celebrity deaths. True Seeker, I already noticed I didn't put it up here. I meant to. There was also the story of the man found at sea, gone for 66 days. The number is 66. The Daily Mail also had this story about the 6'6" Russian woman from the 19th century who could run as fast as a horse and was ape-like. I just want to point out that the word woman has a simple English gematria of 66, like her height, 6'6". Zaina has the simple English gematria of 42, meaning of life number. Just gets so repetitive, doesn't it, True Seeker, the way they code this stuff. 42-line Bible, Gutenberg Bible, 66 books, Gutenberg Bible equals 66. The word biblical equals 66 in Jewish gematria. Also, there was a story about Sarah Thomas. What I noticed on TV, it doesn't capture in this picture when they showed her. Her jersey number, when I keep seeing her on TV, is 153. 153, that number having to do with the Vesica Piscis. And her name, Sarah Thomas, has the gematria of 1, 2, 3, like conspiracy, Pythagorean gematria of 42 and 51, conspiracy number. It really does seem that they've added this element to the NFL, this female referee, just to provoke. many of its male fans. They see it as a man's game, which it is. To me, this isn't even safe to have a female out on the field. I just feel like it's asking for disaster. We'll see what happens. There's also this story about revenge porn. You know, kind of an irrelevant story. I noticed the video that CNN put out of it was 1 minute 13 seconds. The gematria of revenge porn is interesting. 67, like the word satanic. The man accused is Kevin Bollert, which has a gematria of 74 with the V exception. I don't mention it often, but the word Lucifer also equals 74. And then here we're talking about satanic, so it kind of fits together there. And one of the bigger news stories from this weekend is that CERN opened back up, and it opened back up today, Easter Sunday. What I want to show you is interesting is this focus on dark matter. If you look at most of the headlines, they'll talk about how CERN is sets its sights on dark matter. Well, look at dark matter in gematria. In Jewish gematria, it sums to 411, like the word assassin. In English gematria, it sums to 666. And in simple English gematria, it sums to 111. A lot of people thought that the recent Germanwings plane crash had something to do with CERN. And recall, when the plane crash first happened, every news network was using the word obliterated, which has similar gematria. 111 simple English, 666 English gematria, just like dark matter. And in terms of other events going on in the world right now, this number is showing up, such as the basketball tournament. The name Andreas Lubitz with simple English gematria sums to 152. Duke Blue Devils with simple English gematria sums to 152. But also this way, just Blue Devils alone creates this gematria that we're seeing coded into much recently. And the other thing that's interesting about dark matter is that with Pythagorean gematria, dark matter sums to 39. Here, I'll just do it real quick. Dark is 4 plus 1 plus 9 plus 2. 16. Matter is 4 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 5 plus 9. If you don't know how to do this, Truth Seeker, just watch the introductory video. You can learn it in no time. Equals 23. So dark plus matter equals 39. Remember, the college tournament began in the year 39. And again, these numbers are coded into so much. Sports, world events, everyday news, TV shows, movies, and a whole lot more. In total, that pretty much wraps up the big headlines from this weekend. And again, it truly seems like more headlines by the numbers. I'll continue to watch this CERN and what comes out of it. But this coding of dark matter seems quite interesting and quite telling. Perhaps all the people who think CERN has some connection to what happened in the Alps, perhaps those people are correct. All right, until next time, Truth Seeker.